I'm telling ya, this show is going more stronger than my flex tape I used to fix my plastic bum. I'm the most notorious.
Ahem.
Jesus Christ, not you again. What the fuck do you want?
Well, you did split your soul into multiple dolls, so you already know what's going on.
What the hell do you mean? I thought I did the original chant.
Hey, Limp Dick. Did you actually watch the show?
Well, of course.
You're so full of shit. It's diabolical.
Fuck you. I'm not what you called me.
Enough of this shit. Sit back and watch the show.
Oh, fuck with the Chuck.
Will both of you shut the fuck up? I'm tired of this shit. Why the fuck couldn't I have done the chant at a sex doll shop instead of Hot Topic? I'd rather chill plastic dildos instead of you brainless sacks of plastic. Why is the chant now making an army of Chucky?
Ew, Mesco Chucky, you smell putrid.
Excuse me?
Ew, he's right. Take a fucking bath. Oh yeah, that's right. You arrived 5 years ago. Half a fucking decade. So shut the fuck up before I drown you in a bath full of Slappy's jizz.
Slappy? Slappy is a little fucking... Well, it's not quite done yet, but here's my question. Who the fuck is gonna watch another video on a Battle Royale doll massacre? Well. Look who decided to... Shut your fucking mouth. Hello, welcome Slashers, I'm Crypt here, and welcome back to my channel. Now for today's video, I'll be doing a review for Season 1 of the Chucky TV series. So with that said and out of the way, let's get into this video. So, Season 1 of the Chucky TV series. I think it was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed this season. The acting was good, although there were some moments where the acting could have been done better, and some lines did seem a bit forced. The music, man, just absolutely slaps. Much better music in this series than in Cult of Chucky. Even though they did reuse some tracks from Cult of Chucky and from Curse, we still got some really amazing new OST from this season. The writing was pretty good, however, they did leave out some explanations for some important questions to me at least. Like for example, they didn't explain how Andy got out of the asylum. They did not explain where the Chucky with the arm missing is. They talked about the Chucky, like the head Chucky with the stitches and stuff that Andy kept in a safe. They talk about that for a little bit, but pretty much they just leave it at Kyle got rid of it, which it would have been great to see at least one scene with that head before they got rid of it. But they left out explanations I wish they would have explained. That bothered me quite a bit, that they left out that stuff. The whole series is kind of like made to be this thing where Chucky is like on a very specific mission, and you don't really know what the mission is until the very final episode. It's just for him to just duplicate himself within good guy dolls. And I feel like the way that they executed all that wasn't done properly how I would do it, at least. Like, it wasn't done that great in my opinion. For example, this is spoiler territory by the way, so if you don't want this series spoiled, I want to watch this review. But pretty much, Chucky needs a kid to kill someone, just anyone, for him to be able to duplicate himself. Now, there's a few things wrong with this. One, somehow Kyle and Andy know about this plan. I don't know how they know about it, but they know that this is what's happening. I wonder if they got this information from the Chucky head. And then plus, how does that all work? Like, they're sending multiple dolls around and all of a sudden all these dolls come to life. How does this work exactly? Like, how does the spell know how many dolls to duplicate Chucky sew into. It just doesn't make much sense how all that works, and he doesn't even do a spell on any of the dolls, really. They just kind of come to life, and so it just doesn't make much sense in that regard. Cool concept, but doesn't make much sense. We do get an army of Chucky, but they don't do much of anything besides just kind of sitting around and crack jokes, which is kind of funny, but they should have done more with this. Like, we should have seen the Chuckies, like, do a little bit more mayhem before we don't see them for the rest of the episode, because they get sent off to multiple different places, and my guess is they're going to be sent around the world to different rivals' houses and whatnot. But they make Chucky seem like he's here to, like, get revenge on someone or a group of people, and it's not that at all. He's just there to duplicate himself, which is kind of annoying when you put that into perspective, that he's not even really there to get revenge or anything like that. Like, they make it seem like he's on this big ass mission to get revenge, but he's not. He's just trying to duplicate himself so that he could quote unquote invade America. Which really overall just seems like they're kind of baiting us, if that makes any sense. Don't get me wrong, even though I'm giving this series some criticisms, I still liked this season. I still thought that this season had some genuinely good moments, but there's also some humor thrown in there that kind of struck me off as weird. It feels like it belongs in a Ginger Dead Man movie, which is not a compliment. But that's just me though. There are some moments where I liked the comedy and the humor. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, Chucky doing specific things. I do think, however, that the series should have been a little bit darker and taken a little bit more seriously. I don't know, I just like Chucky being shed in a darker light, if that makes any sense at all. I do like how the kid actors are handled in this series though. Jake Wheeler, Junior Wheeler, Devin Evans, Lexi. I think that they're all handled very well. If you guys haven't seen the Child's Play remake, which I really like the remake, don't get me wrong, but I do not like those kid characters other than Andy in that remake. I feel like the kid group in the Child's Play remake just isn't handled well, and they're just kind of shoehorned in there. They don't have much screen time and they don't do much of anything. So I don't like those characters that much at all. Don't get me wrong, I still like that remake, but that's just a criticism that I have for that remake. They're just kind of there. But with this series, I feel like they're tied in pretty well. However, at some points, I feel like they're kind of moving along their relationship a bit too quick. Like Lexi referring to Jake as family. I think that moved along a little too quick. I felt like that needed a bit more time to develop. Like, I think that they should have held it off until the finale. But I still think it was still pretty decently executed. I really like Jake Wheeler's character, Devin Evans. Lexi at first, of course, yeah, she's a bitch, but she kind of warms up throughout the whole entire series. It gets a bit better to the point where you don't hate her anymore. But I overall think that those characters are handled very well, and the development of them is handled very well overall. Andy and Kyle returning, as well as Tiffany and Nika, they all did a phenomenal job. They did great. I just wish that we got a little more screen time with all of them. I think that they deserved a bit more screen time. Something that we don't ever see in the movies is like music from artists played in the movies. Like, we usually just get OST, but we got actual like songs performed by different artists in this series, and I thought that some songs actually fit certain scenes, but other songs just were kind of like, you know, just doesn't fit Chucky. And then the animatronic work. I think the animatronic work for the most part was done good, but there were some moments where the animatronic movement seemed a little bit too stiff. And as Damn Dude Industries would keep bringing up, he would bring up when like the feathering around the dolls looked a bit off, like where they cut out the actors behind him operating Chucky. He would mention how the feathering looked bad and whatnot and looked rushed, which I could understand. But for the most part, for a series, I think that they did decent. But yes, the movement does look a bit too stiff sometimes, and it turns me off a little bit sometimes. And of course, the action, there's always something going on in these episodes, and I think it's pretty cool. I wish that we would have gotten more interesting kills and whatnot, but we did still get some pretty neat kills. But I think that it would have been nice to get some more interesting ones, because I get it, you know, it's sci-fi, they can't do too much crazy shit, but they still did get away with a lot. But overall, I do like this first season. We are getting a season 2 very soon, as confirmed by Sci-Fi and Dawn Mancini. We are getting a season 2 in 2022. I'm super excited for that. I like this first season. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us in regards to the story. I just hope that it's not rushed along or anything, and I hope they give us more explanation for certain things, like more backstory on Eddie Caputo, or more backstory on John Bishop, aka Dr. Death from Child's Play 1, and all the voodoo stuff. I thought that they're definitely going to be giving us some more voodoo stuff in Season 2 regarding how Chucky is speaking to Jake at the end of Episode 8. So I have a feeling they're going to give us some more backstory on that, which I hope they do. And then plus, we got to see the Tiffany doll at the end, which I thought was pretty awesome. I've been wanting to see that Tiffany doll throughout the whole entire season, and they gave it to us, and man, it was so worth the wait to see. I hope we see more of her in Season 2. If not, I'm gonna be highly pissed off. I hope they don't just end up killing off that doll, because I want to see more of her. Like, I definitely don't think that this should be the last we see of her, or even Season 2 be the last we see of her. I think she should definitely play a bigger role in future episodes, the Tiffany doll, and if they do that, I will be so happy. But let's go to the review chart for the TV series. I'm gonna give my review right here. The cinematography, phenomenal. I think that the cinematography is really good, and they experimented with a lot of cool shots in this season. I think they did a great job. The music score, fucking awesome. I really like the music in this, and I hope they release it online. I want to listen to the whole thing in its entirety. I think the OST done very well. I know they used some score from Curse and Cult, but I'm still happy that they did some new stuff for this series, and they did a great job. For the writing and story, I think they did decent. Like I said, they did leave out some explanation for certain things, and I feel like they could have done better with like writing in certain regards. I don't hate the writing, but definitely, I think the writing could have definitely been worked on in regards to certain things that happen in the series and certain backstory, etc. The acting I thought was pretty good. Yes, there are some lines that certain actors said in this season that I feel like they definitely could have been worked on. Like, for example, the scene in episode 1 where Jake is literally going word for word a scene off of Child's Play 1, and it just sounded so forced. And so I feel like there were moments where the acting seemed forced, but it's not terrible, and I still really like the acting. Overall, I think the actors did a decent job still. And for the final verdict, I think that the Chucky TV series deserves a solid 7 out of 10. I liked it. I still really like this season. However, there are some things that hold it back from being a solid 8 in my opinion. Far from perfect series, but I still really enjoyed it, and it has some really good moments. The series is definitely not for everyone. I've seen a few people talk crap about it. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and if you don't like it, that's totally fine. I enjoyed it myself though. Let me know your thoughts on this series down below. I would definitely like to hear what you guys think of it as well. And as for the final statements, I'm just gonna say Chucky got lucky with this TV series because it definitely went trending numerous times on Twitter. So the series definitely is getting people talking about Chucky again. So I think doing Chucky in a TV format was a smart move because it got a lot of people talking about Chucky again. It revived interest for the killer doll, and with that said, I think they did a pretty good job in that regard. But that'll be all for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Definitely subscribe to become a slasher. All social media links and my merch section below. Thank you guys so much for watching my review on Chucky Season 1. I cannot wait to see Season 2 and see what they do there. But I'm out of here. I'll catch you on next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget, guys, to keep on slashing.